I might start a video series where I shoot spitballs at people with bad ideas, because I said in a previous video that's what we need to be doing if we're going to see positive change, and we need to excommunicate the people with bad ideas out of the equation so that only people with good ideas remain, and we can take over and establish a authoritarian communist economic system where I'm king. I'm kidding, okay? That's basically what Curtis Yarvin wants to do, except he wants to elect and by the way, this video is about him if you haven't already figured it out. I'm about to show a clip of Daniel Pinchbeck, who's the Substack author who I've been following for like 6 months or so now, who I have a lot of respect for. Daniel Pinchbeck is the guy with the color-coded books on his bookshelves. One bookshelf or two, I don't remember. Curtis Yarvin is a self-admitted techno-monarchist. He wants to elect a CEO king to have absolute autocratic power over society, politics, culture, everything. He wants to turn America into that picture. So obviously he's a nut job, and he's actually not technically a nut job. His political philosophy seems, by the way he describes it, to be internally self-consistent. The problem is that it's fundamentally undemocratic, because within the system it does not contain the interests of the average person, and the interests of the average person are the most important thing when it comes to constructing an economic system for a people, obviously.
Comes really frankly from the experience of our ancestors,
Would you
namely
say that the
like,
increasing centralization of wealth in fewer and fewer hands? I mean, Zuckerberg alone is worth more than 10% of millennials in the US. Would you say that is a problem?
what problems does that problem cause?
What problems does that problem cause? Mr. Curtis Yarvin asks incredulously, as if it's a point that the thing he admits as being a problem doesn't have problems.
What problems does that problem cause?
Huge problems. It creates huge social inequality, huge wealth inequality, and most people are being starved of possibility because the wealth is concentrated in such fewer and fewer hands.
So I would say that starving of possibility is a very interesting problem. I think I don't know that the problem of
Most kids in their 20s and
having,
30s don't even imagine they're going to own a house. They're not getting married. They
oh,
don't even
I
believe
know.
they're ever going to have anything like their parents or grandparents did. You know, the effect of wealth concentration has been to cut off the future of all these people, and they're just walking around having no clue about how to live in this society.
I I agree that I agree with that. I see that completely. I think that there are other economic analyses that are neither Marxist nor libertarian that I don't think you're particularly familiar with that basically, would cover that a little better. I think I recommended when we talked earlier the Victorian thinker John Ruskin.
First off, it's kind of a rat move to name drop an author who you know the person you're debating doesn't know, so to take the focus off of you because you can't come up with an answer in the moment, and the person you're debating is pressing you, and so the only thing you can come up with is name dropping an author and suggesting that if they were there, they would agree with you. Just a rat move. Well, anyways, I looked up John Ruskin, and I'll read a little bit about him. John Ruskin, 1819 to 1900, found Americans obsessed with a liberty he considered licensed and naively committed to an ideal of equality he believed impossible. I also believe true equality and liberty to be impossible, like total, absolute liberty and equality. Does that mean we should just give all of our money to the rich people? Look, I haven't read John Ruskin, and I'm kind of creating a caricature argument out of what little I do know about John Ruskin to use against Curtis Yarvin, but honestly, Curtis Yarvin deserves it. I'm an artist. I've read hundreds of books less than Curtis Yarvin. Curtis Yarvin doesn't deserve real intellectual or academic consideration. He deserves to get shot spitballs at by people on the internet like me who have read practically no books compared to him, but who still know that he's just in the wrong. But I'll take him a little bit more seriously by linking in the description of this video a more in-depth video that debunks him entirely. When it comes to people like Curtis Yarvin, we just need to not take them seriously at all because they don't have good ideas. And that's it. I want to add one more thing that Curtis Yarvin was talking about with Daniel Pinchbeck that really drives home the conclusion that Curtis Yarvin is someone that shouldn't be taken seriously whatsoever. At one point he was talking about how in some city there is this homeless shelter / drug rehabilitation program where basically homeless drug addicts could seek refuge, but in order for the individual to actually be part of the program, they have to submit themselves to total jurisdiction of the program itself. And then he went on to say that the program essentially has authoritarian rule over the individuals, over the homeless drug addicts who are part of the program, and that is necessary for the homeless drug addicts to make it through the program and eventually lead a better life. And then he started talking about IQ and how
most people aren't overwhelmingly intelligent. And he didn't make the connection explicitly, but he seemed to imply that people are too stupid to be trusted to make decisions based on their own will and based on their own rationality, that the only solution to that is authoritarianism. Basically, people are dumb, therefore authoritarianism, which is so silly. But yeah.